The meaning of asr. So we heard and listened from the various mufassirun. It could be meaning zamana in general, adhar. Could be the time of day or night. Could be specifically the night. Could be the last parts of night. It could be the meaning of asr, the time of asr. It is one of the most important salah in our daily lives. It could also be the time, and Imam Qudri mentioned the time and the zamana after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because the Prophet sallallahu was present in that time. The next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Innal insana lafi khusr. Then no doubt, insan is in loss. So what do we understand here by the meaning of insan? Who is insan? It is mentioned that it could be just a kafir. That kafir, a non-believer, is in loss. It could be, one of the many meanings mentioned, that it is a group of al-mushrikun, group of polytheists, group of people who worship something other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are the ones who are in loss. But the mufassirun have said that it actually also means insan in general. Every mankind, every man that is born, is in by default loss. Innal insana lafi khusr. But there is exception. Illa allazina. We will go onto that later. What does that mean? How an insan is in loss? Imam Baghawi rahimahullah ta'ala, he says that by losing his mal and by losing his age, that he's losing his age, and that's why he is in khasara, he is in loss. Imam Fakhruddin Razi rahimahullah ta'ala, in his tafsir al-Kabir, he mentions a incident. He says that he understood the meaning of Surah Al-Asr from an ice seller who was shouting out in the marketplace. He was saying, have mercy on those, or have mercy on he whose capital is melting. What is his capital? His capital is ice. And he's selling that. He's saying, have mercy on he whose capital is melting. Have mercy on he whose capital is mercy. He says, Imam Fakhruddin says that when I heard that, I said, this is the meaning of Surah Al-Asr. This is the meaning of Innal insana lafi khusr. He understood the meanings of Surah Al-Asr. So he whose age is passing in vain, we all pass. We all are aging every day. We should not be worried about aging, but we should be worried about aging in vain, not benefiting ourselves or others, not getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not getting the status and maqam with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the person that should be in loss. So he says, so he whose age is passing in vain, then he will be amongst the losers. So subhanAllah, this is how our pious predecessors and our ulama, they understood from the life events. They understood the meaning of various ayahs and also meanings of life. So, my dear brothers and sisters, if you are wasting your time sitting in front of TV, flicking through channels, watching useless programs, and sitting hours and hours in front of the TV or in front of video games or on your mobile phones, and we do not have time to pray 5 times a day, which how long it takes? You have 5 prayers, just it takes 10 to 15 minutes. 30 minutes, 40 minutes a day it takes for us to pray, and we do not have, unfortunately, that time. But we do have hours and hours and hours in those activities which are not going to benefit us in this dunya and also in akhirah. Time is one of the most precious jewels that we have, my dear brothers and sisters. Time is something that we cannot buy. Time is something that we cannot borrow. That something that is gone will never come back. Today that has passed away, a morning that we just passed will never ever come back into our lives. So that's why time is the most precious jewel, the most precious thing is in your life. And then we should value it according to its its qimat, according to its quality. We should value that thing, and time we should value it even for. Mufti Ahmad Rahimahullah Ta'ala, he also explains this further, this ayah, what it means by loss, why mankind is in loss. He says, man is wasting his original capital. Time is an original capital, meaning his age, in his disbelief. So he's wasting his capital, his age, in disbelief, in sin, in negligence, worldly pursuits, and amusements. He does not make it mean to make his hereafter better. Man is a merchant. He says man is a merchant. He's a tajir, he's a trader. His life is a shop and his deeds are his products. So man is a merchant, and life, giving a parable, a parable of our life. He says man is a merchant, the shop is a life, and the product that he has is his deeds. If his deeds are good, then the purchasers is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the paradise is the price. And if they are bad, then Shaitan is the purchasers, and the hell is the price. The purchaser is per the product. It depends on what product you have, what product you're selling in your shop. What are you doing day to day? Just do a bit of analysis of your life and just do a timetable. What are your time is being spent on a daily basis? If you look at it, we spent what, 8 hours of sleep. So our 24 hours, take 8 hours sleep, we have 16 hours. Then we're spending probably 10 hours of work. Then we're left with 6 hours. So what are we doing with this? We have to eat as well, look after our kids. We have to do exercise. So how much time are we giving to our deen? How much time we are spending on helping others? How much time we are spending to learn knowledge and pass on to others? How much time we're spending to really look after our parents, look after our kids, give them time? So really, brothers and sisters, if you really analyze our life, there is not a lot of time. And so we should value time. If you have time in your hands, so we should value it greatly. Because if you do not value now, you will see later in your life that you will wish that you had some extra time that you could do more. So if you have extra time, my brilliant brothers and sisters, then value it. Learn some knowledge. Sit with scholars, sit with imams, learn Quran, recite Quran, understand its meanings, help the brothers and sisters who are suffering, help your relatives. So this is how you can spend your time in best manner. My brothers and sisters, you have heard how precious our life is, but rather how every moment of our life is so important and so valuable. So we should not be entrapped in amusement, enjoyment, and always getting entertained. Entertaining yourself is not bad. We should, but there should be a balance between entertainment and also preparing for your hereafter. But dear brothers and sisters, never show laziness in performing your salah. As I said before, unfortunately, some of us do not even pray, which is I would say, a great tragedy that we don't have enough time in our life to pray. And even those of us who do pray, we look at ourselves and see and analyze how we pray. That as soon as I start to pray, I start thinking about how I'm going to finish it. I'm in a hurry. Why? Why that every time I stand up for prayer, it feels like I'm running behind something. I need to finish it ASAP. But when I'm sitting in front of TV or on Facebook or WhatsApp or Snapchat or TikTok, whatever it is, we are indulged in these days. I can spend hours and hours. Sometimes I just miss my food because I'm on some entertainment streak. But when it comes to prayer, when it comes to Quran, when it comes to learning about the life of the Prophet ﷺ, we are so lazy and lethargic. We procrastinate. Procrastination is one of the tools of shaitan. That we procrastinate means, oh, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. You know what? I'm going to start praying. Allah gives us tawfiq, of course. We listen to the bayan, we listen to the lecture, or we read something on our Facebook board, and then we have this thought, I need to become pious. I need to start praying. I need to become a good person. But what happens? We procrastinate. Do not, my dear brothers and sisters, if you have a good intention, do you want to start something? Allah has given some thing in your heart. He put some inspiration in your heart, then work on it straight away. Do not delay even for a second. Because Allah has given you this chance. If you have this inspiration in your heart and you feel like, oh, awakening moment, then do not waste that awakening moment. Work on it. So we should motivate ourselves by that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all merciful and glorified, and all praise to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala wa jalla wa ala. He gives us countless opportunities, but we need to also work on those and inspire ourselves to be inspired, to be good. And how do you do that? How do you inspire yourself, my dear brothers and sisters? Be in the company of people which are good, people who remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Suhbah is very important. How are you spending your time? What kind of friends you have? So that is very important. That how you spend your time. Spend time with people who reminds you of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who talks about hereafter, who talks about Jannah, who talks about what deed we should be doing, who asking you to come pray. Not those ones who says, let's just do entertainment. This is, my dear brothers, a reminder to myself first and foremost, and then to all of us, that there are brothers and sisters dying in front of us. They're going into severe diseases. In this last couple of weeks, I've heard cases where young and healthy brothers and sisters fell to a brain tumor. Suddenly they were absolutely fine, and then they heard that they had a brain tumor and they only have like 12 months to live. And suddenly a brother who had a heart attack, he was very healthy, he was, no health issues, but he just had a heart attack and he passed away. So do not plan to get old and then you do good deeds. That's the worst plan. Plan that you're going to become better today, not tomorrow, not even tomorrow, today. Because Allah's Messenger says, At-ta'ibu min al-dhanbi kama la dhanba lahu. Subhanallah. This is our religion. This is our Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one who repents from sin as if he has never done the sin. But there has to be sincerity in that. That I will never ever do that sin again. So start becoming pious, start becoming good person, good Muslim from today. Do the intention. Do not wait for tomorrow. There's no miracle going to happen tomorrow. You're suddenly going to turn yourself into something amazing. It's a gradual journey that you have to do. You have to strive in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing comes easily. So, my dear brothers, just to finish some of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this topic, he says that two blessings about which many people are deceived. That two blessings people are deceived about it. He says health and free time. These are two great blessings, my dear brothers and sisters. Ask those people who are not healthy, who can't walk properly, or who can't see properly, or who can't hear properly. They got heart conditions. or they go some other conditions, they go asthma or something going on in their life, they are not 100%. If Allah has given you health, value it and be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then free time, people are deceived by it, and then that free time becomes a leisure time is mostly spent in wasteful activities. So we should spend that free time in good activities. And he also said that take advantage of 5 things before 5 things. It's a very famous hadith. He says, youth before old age. Take advantage of your youth whilst you can do stuff, whilst you can run around, while you can do more ibadah, while you can learn, while you can teach. Take advantage of that. He says, health before your sickness. Take advantage of your health before you get really, really sick. Wealth before your poverty. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with wealth, then take advantage of that. Helping your family, helping poor people in your neighborhood, and the Ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. Free time before peak occupation. So if you do have a free time, even an hour a day, benefit from it, value it. And life before death. Because once the death comes, there will not be any return. And there will be just regret if you have not spent your life in good activities or good actions. In Surah Al-Fajr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that a person when he dies, what does he say? He says, he will say, يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي قَدَّمْتُ لِحَيَاتِي. He says, oh, I wish if I had sent something for this life. So he just regrets that he hasn't done anything. The moment you passed away, my dear brothers and sisters, you cannot even say Subhanallah once. That's done. Your book of deeds is closed. Except you have left a sadaqah. If you have left a sadaqah or jariyah, means even, for example, a well, or you build a masjid, or you build a path, or something in this, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to benefit. Or, if you have left a knowledge, left a book, or if you taught some lectures and recorded, in any form, if you have taught and your students, and then these students are then spreading the knowledge, so that's also sadaqah jariyah. And then the last one is actually, if you have left a noble and pious children, then they will pray for you and Allah will benefit you. So your biggest investment, my dear brothers and sisters, is your children. That you have to give them time so that when you are passed away, they can continue to benefit you and benefit the people around you. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, every morning when the sun rises, at the time of the day, he declares. When he rises, he declares. And this hadith is in Shu'abul Iman. That if there is any good deed to be done today, do it, as I will never come back after today. This is the announcement of the day. That when he comes in the morning, he says, if there is any good deed that you need to do it now. Because this will not come back. I will not come back. So every moment, my dear brothers and sisters, and if I look back, just do your own analysis. Just think about it. That you look back, if you're 20 years old or 30 or 35, 40, look back and just imagine your life. You remember all the good bits. You remember all the good things you have done. And you'll be proud of that. And the things that you have done bad, you spent time in wasteful activities, in sinning and disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no good. Even in this dunya, you regret that. You regret the time that you wasted. Now you wish that you had that time, that you could undo it, but you can't, my dear brothers and sisters. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful, He's all forgiving. He's given us this chance that if you have done something wrong in this life, if you have wronged someone, we just have to do tawbah. But tawbatun nasuha, my dear brothers, that once you've done the tawbah, do not return back to that thing. So let us make a aim objective for this year 2021 to make a list of the things that you want to do, that these are my priority. For example, if you're not praying 5 times a day, start somehow. Say by 2021, I want to become a namazi. I want to pray 5 times a day. If you cannot read your Quran properly, make an aim that this year I'm going to do that. If unfortunately you haven't read the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, make an aim that in this year, inshallah ta'ala, I will. And if you have not understood the basics of fiqh, basics of jurisprudence, then make an aim that I actually will try myself, because innamal a'malu binniyat. The action depends on the intentions. So make as many intentions as possible. Make objectives. Put it on a paper, all your objectives. Discuss it with your family and put it on a wall. Say, these are my objectives for the life. Put it in your bedroom somewhere that you see every day. And then tick mark those objectives once you've done them. Because a life without purpose is in vain. What's that life which has no purpose? So make purpose in life, make small objectives, and inshallah ta'ala that will motivate you. And I said, be in company of the people who are good, who call you towards the good, and be amongst the people who are reminding you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we just did the 2 ayahs, but the following is إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except those who believe. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wal Asr, by the time of Asr, Innal insana lafi khusr, that indeed mankind is in loss, illa allazina, except those amanu, who believed, wa amilus salihat. This is important, my dear brothers. Belief with actions, and those are good actions. Except those who believe and do good actions. Wa tawasaw bil haqq, and call each other, enjoying each other towards truth. If you see someone on the wrong path, don't just ignore it. Don't just say, "Oh, it's not my place to say." No. This is the sign. This is the sign of a mu'min. If you see something wrong, he corrects it. You have to correct. If you can, you can advise your brother in a nice manner, and be truthful, and call towards patience. So we should enjoin each other towards patience and the succor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive me if I made any mistakes, and give us all tawfiq to really benefit from our time. Give us a tawfiq to really understand the importance of our time and spend in actions which are beloved to His Messenger and benefit which are beloved to Him and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and make us die on Iman by reciting La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.